feel like the gym is a personal space, like where I can come and just forget about all the stress and all the pressures of this life. And here I am, and there's this lady taking my picture. And I'm like, why? Like, what are you even going to do with the picture? Chinese people respect you based on where you're from. So if they ask you where you're from and you tell them you're from America, they'll want to eat you up like cake. But if you tell them that you are from
South Sudan,
somewhere else, anywhere else but America,
you're from Ghana,
you are whack. You are nothing. Going to the doctor in China is different from going to the doctor back home. When you go to the doctor back home, they don't complain about certain things like your weight and stuff like that. But usually when you go to Chinese doctors here, if you are sick, they'll tell you that it's because you are fat. So in America, I feel like you pay for everything, and it's hard there. People say it's greener pastures, but I was explaining to Babe that a lot of people who go to these countries, they are starting from nothing. Like they have nothing under their belts.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. This is Rich and Anna. In this video, we're going to tell you guys why we have decided to move back to Ghana from China.
September of this year made 3 years since I've been in China, and you know the year is coming to an end right now, so next year will be like going into the 4th year. And my contract that I have currently, it goes until June of next year or July of next year. I need to double check, I'm not sure. You know, when I originally came here, my intention was to stay 3 years and then leave, because I just wanted to, you know, save enough money to take me to my next point in life. And I feel like I've gotten to that place and I've overstayed at this point. And you know, like on a day-to-day basis, I'm like every day is a drag for me now. Usually when Babe say have a good day at work, I'll be like, oh well, I'll try, you know, like I'll do my best. And he always says, oh, it's good wishes, you know. But I say I'll try because every day is like a drag for me. And not just at work. I was at the gym just today on the treadmill and a lady took my picture, and I was like, I feel like the gym is a personal space, like where I can come and just forget about all the stress and all the pressures of this life. And here I am, and there's this lady taking my picture. And I'm like, why? Like, what are you even going to do with the picture? I just feel super annoyed every time. Like, a lot of people, they like to say, oh, Chinese people are just curious and they just want to, you know, understand. But in my personal opinion, it is not true. Some of them, most of them, they are just blatantly rude. Like, they're just blatantly rude. And, you know, like, growing up, there are certain things that we don't do. We don't stare, we don't point. Like, in Jamaican culture, you don't stare, you don't point. But when I came here, it's like, they always do that. They point at you. You'll have kids, adults pointing at you, like pointing at you, staring at you, and they have no sense of personal space. That's also another thing. So they will literally even come close to you and be staring at you, like they're letting you know that they're staring at you and there's nothing you can do about it. And to be frank, mostly it makes you feel uncomfortable. On a good day, maybe you'll like just brush it off and kind of like dismiss it. But if you're having a bad day, I'm telling you, on bad days, I use my translator to argue. And I feel like...
You argue on translator?
Yeah, like I feel like when I came to China, there was a part of me that came out that I never knew existed. You know, because usually I would say I'm not so angry. Like, I don't recall myself being so angry in Jamaica. But I feel in China I'm angry a lot. Like, I get angry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I don't even know if angry is the word or just irritated. Like, I get irritated in China. They see you, they start talking about you, oh, why go rain? I don't even know what they're saying, but they have a whole conversation about you. And the thing is, Chinese people respect you based on where you're from. So if they ask you where you're from and you tell them you're from America, they'll want to eat you up like cake. But if you tell them that you are from
South Sudan,
somewhere else, anywhere else but America,
you're from Ghana.
You are whack. You are nothing. Like at this point, I started to tell them that I'm from Bay, which means North America. Technically, I think Jamaica is in North America, even though it's the Caribbean. You are black automatically. They think you're from Africa. I had one kid ask me if I live in jungle, like if I live amongst the trees and animals. Like a child asking me that.
One thing that frustrates me a lot, what my wife is saying, I also experience that, but one thing that frustrates me a lot is when you are trying to speak about or talk about some of these things, other foreigners will be like, they try to justify their actions with words like, oh, most of them are just being curious, most of them have not seen foreigners before. Like, till when?
Yeah.
I feel like China opening up to the outside world, it's been long. There's been Olympics, China broadcast Olympics on national television. They have movies with black people in there. There are news about foreigners and at the outside world. There are so many things, so I don't know why this justification is still going on. It's like, okay, you are a foreigner, so we are here, we are living our life. If you don't like it, just go.
Honestly, a lot of foreigners, they justify Chinese people behavior and China's behavior because of the money. That is the only reason. In my honest opinion, there was this girl who came to do my hair recently, and she used the exact terminology to say that we are being held hostage by the money. That's what she said. And I totally agree with her. A lot of people don't want to leave and they keep up with all the bullshit that China offers and all the Chinese people offer because of the money that they're able to make here. Whether it be by teaching English or doing some business somewhere or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't think China is somewhere someone should plan to live for long term.
Yeah.
You're living your life here. It's somewhere you come to experience certain cultures or meet other people, work, make some money, and then just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
If you plan to live here for long, your mental health might go really bad. I'm in a group on Facebook that is foreigners in China, and some of the things that people complain about. It's like there are things that every foreigner goes through.
Yeah.
And it depends on the kind of foreigner you are.
Yeah.
If you're a certain kind of foreigner, you're going to definitely experience that. And other kinds of foreigners are justifying their behavior because they don't really go through such behaviors.
Yeah.
You get it? Yeah, like there's a lady in a group and she was complaining about her neighbors, Chinese neighbors, and I feel like these are things that they normally do. Like I've experienced those things like so many times, and it still goes on. You see. So if you are planning to come to China, to live in China, just come here to study. Just come to study. When you are done, go somewhere else. Come to work for a while, 2 years, 3 years, you move somewhere else. But to come live here with your family long term, with children, and it's going to get to you. Trust me.
Yeah. It might. Not saying that it has to get to you. It just depends on who you are and how you will take certain situations,
It's going to get to you gradually.
But you have people who have been here 10 years old.
They still go through. Like the lady said, it's the money that keeps them hostage.
Yeah.
Or the lack of other options.
Right.
You get it? Yeah. That's what keeps people here. Cause I've met, if you meet all kinds of foreigners, they'll tell you, unless some other, I don't want to mention the other kind of foreigners. If you meet most foreigners, they're going to tell you the same issues you go through. Same.
The stories are the same, similar.
Exactly.
Yeah. Recently I was even having a conversation and I was like, since I've been here, I've yet to hear success, happy stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There have been happy stories, though. I'm not saying China is totally bad. There are good sides, there are amazing stuffs, but get ready for your mental health.
Guys,
your mental health is definitely going to get deranged.
The best part of China for me is meeting this lovely man here and the money. That's it for me, okay? Okay. we're at a place right now where we want to start our family, or I should say expand our family. And we've considered China, getting pregnant here. But at the same time, we are also thinking about going to a Chinese hospital. Maybe the doctor, the nurse don't speak English. You have to be translating everything. Anything could go wrong. Like, we're thinking about all those things. And the fact that going to the doctor in China is different from going to the doctor back home. When you go to the doctor back home, they don't complain about certain things like your weight and stuff like that. But usually when you go to Chinese doctors here, if you are sick, they'll tell you that it's because you are fat. They look at your fat as different. No, I've heard other stories from foreigners.
Oh, really?
If your blood pressure is high, they'll tell you it's because you're fat. If your back hurts, they'll tell you it's because you are fat. The fat is the first thing that comes from their mouth. Okay, so they handle, or their medical way is different than our way that we are used to, But separate and apart from that, we have also thought about the fact that China is keeping us stagnant. Like, we are stuck. We are at one place. And there are certain, I would say, business ventures that we want to go into. And it's quite difficult for us to start that here while we are here. We feel like we have to leave and be on the ground to actually do those things. Presently, I'm doing ESL, teaching English as a second language to kindergarten students. So my students, they are like 2 years old. Some are not 2 as yet. So let's say 1.5 to 6 years old. And to be honest, it is exhausting. I'm over it. I am not a certified teacher. I actually did business and project management in school. Carrying a baby alone, but just carrying the baby by itself, that alone takes so much energy. So that is some of the things that we've thought about. The fact is, in China, sometimes the schools, they like to say, oh, for pregnancy, we're not supposed to get the same thing as the Chinese teachers, which is against the law. So I'm even thinking about the fact that we might get pregnant and I might have to send my school to court and all these things. And I would want my baby or baby, I would want our baby to have family. Like, I don't want it to be that, people are already staring at me. Imagine I'm pregnant, they'll stare at me double, and then when the baby arrives, my baby will also be in that type of environment. And I don't want it to be a case where they've made me irritated and I pass that energy on to the baby. And I want the baby to, of course, just be around family or similar, like-minded people. And China is not that. Like in China here, you have babies who are, like, even at my school, there's a foreign baby. And he speaks Chinese, but he doesn't speak English. His dad is from England. Can you imagine? He speaks Chinese, but he does not speak English. And that's because they have the baby. For example, let's say I was supposed to have a baby now. My maternity leave is finished. I would have to go back to work and I would have to hire a Chinese nanny. And she would speak to the baby in Chinese all day. By the time I come home and get settled, it's about 5 o'clock. The baby would need to go to bed by, let's say, 6, 7. How much time do I actually spend with the baby? So the baby would be getting more Chinese than English. Yeah. So the whole baby thing, business, us being stagnant here, I just think it's time for us to go.
For me, I could only work illegal jobs here in China. Like, that is also one of the main reasons. I could only work illegal jobs because for English teaching jobs, Ghanaians are not being hired. Just recently, I heard somewhere that a Ghanaian is being hired as a teacher, like a primary teacher. But those things, you don't hear them often because they are just 1 out of 50. So I could only do illegal jobs, so just moving from job to job. So you can't really build a career over here. You just work here a little bit, You work this job, you go to that job, you go to that job, you go to that job, just making money, but no career being built. And the job market over here is dwindling with respect to people who are not native English speakers, or who China terms to be non-native English speakers.
Yeah.
You know, if you are not from USA or from UK, from Canada, from Australia, you are not termed as native. And even after you being native, you need to be a certain body type and a certain complexion. You have to be white and you have to be slim. Like recently, I saw a job post that says that they need someone. You don't have to be. You don't have to be
too fat.
You don't have to be too fat. Like, you know, China loves those superficial stuff. That's their culture, and we are not here to save them or to teach them what they have to do. They think it is best, and they have to do it. We just have to leave when we are done with what we are doing. You know, so those are some of the reasons why we want to leave China. Also, I'm currently in school. You know, my area is pharmacy. Yeah, you know, currently I'm entering into, you know, cancer research. So, like, I would want to actually practice. You know, I'll have to go practice and gain some working experience in the field of pharmacy instead of picking jobs in China, like doing mini jobs, TikTok live sales, petty research works, sales work, and all that. You don't get to build a career. That is one of the reasons why we want to go to Ghana. So I go write a licensure and then build a career in proper pharmacy. Yeah. So that is one of the reasons why we want to go to Ghana. Yeah. So we've considered a number of countries like USA, Canada, UK. I mean, all of those countries that people say they are living well.
Greener pastures.
Yeah, green countries.
Yeah.
You know, UK, Canada, you know, blah blah. Even New Zealand,
Jamaica,
Ghana. Like, these are all countries that we've considered. But looking at it, when we move to most of these countries, it looks like we'll have to start over again. It costs so much to move to all of these countries actually, whether student route or working, blah 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 blah. And we feel like most of these things, even though it's greener pastures like people say, but they also have their disadvantages. You get it? And we feel like this is not the time where we need to go to those greener pastures. We need to go to a place where we feel like it's much more greener.
Yeah.
You know, that is a place that is much more affordable, a place where you could actually own assets much easily, a place where you could do business, a place where you could have family around, a place where you could move freely without thinking about the future or worries about the future, a place where you could actually raise up your children and not be moving around, moving jobs, you know, and then moving around like a nomad. So with USA, there are problems with USA with that. UK, Canada, even though it is okay, but we feel like this is not the time for us to move there. We might move there in the future, but we don't think that this is the time. We need to actually do other things before going there.
So in America, I feel like you pay for everything, and it's hard there. People say it's greener pastures, but I was explaining to Babe that a lot of people who go to these countries, they are starting from nothing. Like, they have nothing under their belts. As well as USA, they have a lot of like racism, mass shootings. You hear that, someone went to shoot up a school, or there's stabbings like with knives and stuff. So I'm like, I mean, people say it's greener pastures, but are they really that green, you know? So we're basically doing process of elimination, you know. So we are down to Jamaica and Ghana. I always tell myself that I wouldn't want to live in Jamaica. Reason being is Jamaica is a tourist country and things are quite expensive in Jamaica. Babe always said that Ghana is expensive, but in my opinion, Jamaica is expensive. Jamaica is a place where I feel like people should visit, but not live there like every day. Not live there every day, you know. And we have situations where kids are being abducted, shootings. The crime rate in Jamaica is very high, and personally I would just like to avoid it, you know. If I could, I would like to avoid it. Yeah, and I mean, it's not that you are in badness or anything like that, but you can be caught at the wrong place at the wrong time. With process of elimination, we are left with Ghana. And for Ghana, we have, I don't want to give too much away, but let's say we have a business in Ghana currently that's earning us a certain amount of money. So I was saying to Babe that with this money, we could survive for the month, you know, and that is what we currently have. So let's add other things to it. For example, him doing his licensure and going into pharmacy, for example. Me doing something in business. Let's say I go into HR or something, or we start a business. We've looked into other business ventures that we can go into. Don't want to dwell too much on it, but with all that, we've calculated that it would be the best option for us right now.
Also, Ghana, my motherland, it's a beautiful place. Ghana is a beautiful place, you know, but quite recently there's been some economic turmoils, like switch of governments, and currently there's been economic hardships and all that. But I feel like those things mostly happen in other countries. But in general, I feel like Ghana would be much more suitable for us to live. You know, for example, it's much easier to acquire assets if you have some savings. The cost of assets are less expensive as compared to other places. You know, you were mentioning some assets, the amount of house in Jamaica. For me, like the kind of house and the amount, it's crazy.
Babe, okay, guys, Babe would say that the asset in Ghana is cheaper than somewhere else, but in my opinion, it is the same.
No.
It is the same, babe. It is the same. I'm telling you, when you do the conversion, it is the same. By the time you buy building materials, let's say you buy the land in Ghana and you're going to build on it. By the time you buy the building material and you pay the workman, you grill it, you get the safety gate, you build the wall, you pavement in the yard so that it looks proper, you add all the fixtures, the lighting and all that. I'm telling you, it's the same.
You know, yeah, you'd say it's the same, but I have seen houses in Ghana, the kind of houses in Ghana, with the pricing. And I've seen houses, bungalows you showed me in Jamaica, with those pricing. And I feel like, nah,
it's different.
It's way different. Like, it's way different. You know, you would argue that there are land, there's space around where you can build, but that's for a different day. You know, I'm talking about what it comes right now, like what it comes with.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
The cost of land.
Yeah, the cost of land in Jamaica is expensive.
Much expensive.
Yeah, it's more expensive than Ghana.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and also, I don't know how business terrain in Jamaica is, but it should be as good as Ghana. But I feel like looking at, I have family in Ghana. My wife also has family in Ghana because we are family now. And I feel like we could thrive better in Ghana. You know, looking at the business terrain, looking at the cost of assets, the cost of living is high, but I feel like it's quite reasonable, a bit reasonable, even though it's risen so much in recent times. But we are believing that it goes down.
It's not gonna go down, but as I always say to you, the price of things, it has increased everywhere, especially since pandemic.
Yeah, going down, not in the sense that the price itself will go down, but the your earning power should go high. Like the nation's earning power should go high. Salaries should increase, then it tallies. Do you get it? Yeah. So we are hoping that that happens, but we feel like Ghana is much more fertile. To thrive.
So maybe in the future we'll decide on somewhere else, but as of now we've made that decision and we're sticking with it.
Yeah, so currently I decided to take an offer for a master's program in cancer research in the area of cancer. It's going to take me 2 years, and I'm going to finish that program in May or June 2026. Looking at that, I would have to finish that program to level up more. You get it? Because in Ghana, in licensure now, you need certain requirements. Nearby future, I want to go into oncology. This program gives me like a stepping stone. So basically, I will need to wait 2 years to be able to make any move. You get it? So we'd have to wait for about 2 years more to be able to move to Ghana.
As for me, I know Babe said June 2026, his program would be finishing. But if it's a case where we do conceive now, anything can happen. After the baby is born and I have maternity leave, the baby would be at best 3 months. And I wouldn't feel comfortable leaving my child at 3 months. Personally, I would want to be at home with the baby for at least 1 year before I say, okay, I can leave the baby with someone. And I would feel even more uncomfortable having to leave the baby with a Chinese nanny, So if it's a case where we do give birth here, like get pregnant and stuff like that, chances are I would go to Ghana before him. Maybe I would leave him here and go like maybe a few months ahead.
Yeah, another thing is we are looking our social media platforms. We are hoping or we are assuming that our social media, platforms could get much better in Ghana with respect to views and with respect to support. Support in terms of people patronizing us or viewing our videos and enjoying our videos. We feel like the Ghanaian community is the most that follows us right now. So we feel like our social media community is going to grow much more in Ghana than other places. Even though in Ghana we might not get paid for a lot of things like TikTok, but we'll find a way around it, maybe using VPN or something like that. Yeah, so that is also one of the reasons why we feel like Ghana is
because here in China with the VPN and stuff that we have to use, even though we post videos, it doesn't reach or the people who should reach it.
Yeah, the reach is not more.
Yeah, and there are certain videos that we want to do. For example, let's say we want to cook some okra soup and banku, and you guys get to experience me trying to cook it and eating it and stuff. But we're not able to do that because we don't have access to even the ingredients here in China, So I think leaving would be good for us.
So these are just some points or some reasons why we want to live to Ghana. I know there are so many families, so many people, individuals who are also contemplating on certain things like this, like especially moving to Ghana particularly. Yeah, but these are some of the reasons. If you have any reasons, you have any doubts, even if you live in China or any part of the world, you are facing some of these things, you could just leave it in the comment section. Let's have a discussion in the comment section. If you also have other suggestions for us, you're welcome. Kindly leave it in the comment section.
If there are any business opportunities that you know about, you can also leave them in the comment section and let us know, because we want to know about all the business opportunities that we can go and partake in Ghana. If you enjoyed watching this video, definitely leave a like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.